Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the franchise discussion category. This video will be dedicated to the recap and thoughts for issue 0 of the Young Justice tie-in comics, Stopover. We begin this issue in Washington, D.C. on July 5th. This issue actually starts with a scene from episode 2 of the TV series Fireworks. More specifically, the scene is the one where Robin, Aqualad, Kid Flash, and Superboy tell the Justice League that they're determined to stay together as a team and continue to fight the good fight, with Batman responding to give him 3 days. Realizing that Superboy has nowhere else to go, Kid Flash offers to let Superboy stay at his house for the time being. And that's where we head to Central City, sometime after the sun has risen, where Kid Flash is telling his parents about the events of Independence Day and fireworks, and also introduces them to Superboy. The West parents inquire Superboy about his name, but he keeps responding that his name is Superboy, since this happens before Superboy adopts the civilian identity of Connor Kent. The next scene takes us to the Atlantic Ocean, where Aqualad and Aquaman are swimming. Aqualad takes the moment to apologize to Aquaman for disobeying him and not standing down earlier, but Aquaman responds that he understands that Aqualad meant no disrespect, and he actually isn't offended by what Aqualad had done. Quite the contrary, he says that Aqualad and the other young heroes' words actually hold a lot of weight to them, and that they made very valid points. We're back in Central City, and it's almost time for bed. Kid Flash offers to let Superboy sleep in his bed while Kid Flash will sleep on the floor with a sleeping bag. The next day has come, so it's now July 6th, and when Kid Flash wakes up, he finds that Superboy isn't in bed anymore, but he soon finds out that Superboy actually decided to sleep in the closet while standing upright. This is because the closet reminded Superboy of his pod back in Cadmus. As the next few timestamps indicate, Kid Flash and Superboy spend the majority of the day just watching TV. But eventually, Kid Flash's mom is tired of this, and she tells Kid Flash and Superboy that the next day they're going to head out of the house and do something else. And she mentions that a credit card actually came in the mail for Kid Flash, and the message says that this credit card is for expenses, and Kid Flash's mom figures that this is a good chance to give Superboy some clothes. Superboy inquires if the credit card was from Superman, but as Kid Flash sees when he looks at the message, there's a bat symbol indicating that Batman is the one responsible for sending the credit card. So now it's the next day, July 7th, and Kid Flash and Superboy are now at the mall in Central City. They're going to the store Forever 16, but they don't realize that the Terror Twins, Tommy and Tuppence, are also in the mall at the time. The Terror Twins are heading into a jewelry store, Gemini Gems. In Gotham City, we see Robin expressing his frustration and his impatience how Batman hasn't responded to the young hero's request just yet. But Alfred assures Robin that when Batman says 3 days, he means 3 days. Back in Central City, Superboy ended up buying multiple copies of the same outfit, most prevalent being the black t-shirt with the Superman crest on it. However, their shopping is interrupted when they notice the Terror Twins are stealing from Gemini Gems. Kid Flash purchases some bandanas so that he and Superboy can wear them over their faces to disguise their identities, and they proceed to fight the Terror Twins. And eventually the fight takes them outside the mall, where the Terror Twins actually seem to lose their nerve and try to escape. Kid Flash and Superboy wonder if they managed to scare the Terror Twins off, but they soon find out that, in truth, Flash and Superman have arrived, and they were the ones who scared the Terror Twins off. Superman chases after the Terror Twins, and Flash scolds Kid Flash for getting into trouble within the 3 days that they were supposed to wait for Batman's decision. But he also tells Kid Flash and Superboy to go back home and get some sleep because he's going to pick them up the next day because Batman has made his decision. The next scene takes us to Mount Justice on July 8th, and this scene, like the start of the issue, is also a scene from episode 2, Fireworks. More specifically, it's the scene where Batman is telling the 4 young heroes about the purpose of the Young Justice team going on covert missions. And the issue ends with Robin realizing that Batman mentioned that there would be 5 members of the Young Justice team. So the issue ends just before the 4 teens are introduced to Miss Martian. So there we go. That was our first issue of the Young Justice tie-in comics. And like I've mentioned before, the Young Justice tie-in comics are meant to fill in the blanks of events from the episodes of the TV series and to provide more stories based on the Earth-16 universe, because the episodes of the TV series are roughly a half hour and you only have so much time to fit in so much content. So I do appreciate that the tie-in comics exist and that they allow the chance to expand on Earth-16 that the TV series episodes don't get to do. Now, the tie-in comics are currently out of print. The hard copies of the hard copies or the physical copies of the tie-in comics are out of print now, but they are available to purchase online. Comixology in particular, that's spelled with an X by the way, that has the tie-in comics available for purchase. And the reason I bring that up is because Greg Weisman has actually told fans that there is a way to have more tie-in comics. There's currently 26 issues of the tie-in comics available, but there's a way to get more tie-in comics made, and that's by purchasing the issues of the tie-in comics on Comixology. That way, Warner Brothers will know that there is a market for the tie-in comics to make a profit from. And this will also allow fans to have more Young Justice content. Also, because the tie-in comics are much faster, they take less time to make compared to episodes of the TV series. So that certainly is a good thing to allow more Young Justice content at a faster pace compared to the episodes of the TV series. So if you do want to see more Young Justice content, then purchasing the comics on Comixology is a good idea. And the reason why I mentioned that the hard copies or the physical copies are out of print is because that means that the purchasing them won't be as notable to Warner Brothers as purchasing them from Comixology. So purchasing them from Comixology is what will allow Warner Brothers to know that there is a market for the Young Justice tie-in comics. So that's just a little heads up for fans of the TV series that want to see more Young Justice content. So there is a way to do so. Now on to the thoughts for the issue itself. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a nice way to kind of tell us what went down during the 3 days in between when the Young Justice team was making their stance to form themselves as a team. That's right. The moment where the Young Heroes tell the Justice League that they want to form their own team, and before the Young Justice team is officially formed at Mount Justice on July 8th. So it was nice that they did fill in those blanks. We now found out that Superboy acquired his outfit from Forever 16, which actually it's a nod to Forever 21, but it's also foreshadowing, it's also clever foreshadowing for Superboy's situation that's revealed in the second episode of Season 2, Earthlings. That episode revealed an important detail about Superboy, so that was actually pretty clever foreshadowing on their part. And so we do have an answer for where Superboy gets his outfit from. We do get to see what Superboy was up to, and Kid Flash for that matter, since Kid Flash was nice enough to let Superboy stay at his house for the time being. We get to see what they do during those 3 days that Batman requested. Although we do get to see a little bit of what Aqualad is up to, and we do get to see a little bit of what Robin's up to as well. And this issue actually introduces the Terror Twins, not just chronologically, but this issue was released before the episode Terror. So this was this issue was the introduction of the Terror Twins. Although Tuppence notably had a different hairstyle compared to the hairstyle she has in the actual TV series. It turns out that Tuppence's appearance here was based off of some concept art that the artist for the tie-in comics had received from the character designer, or the head character designer of the TV series. But one of the show's directors wanted to give Tuppence a different hairstyle to make her more distinct compared to Shimmer. And he also wanted a hairstyle that was based off of Gwen Stefania, or a design that resembles Gwen Stefania. So that explains the difference with Tuppence's hairstyle between this issue and the TV series. So just a little tidbit for anyone who is curious. And otherwise, oh, that's right. This issue is also, of the 26 issues of the tie-in comics, this issue was the only one that really was just a single part issue, because the other issues in the Young Justice tie-in comics were multi-parters. That is, there was a bigger story that was told over multiple issues, but this issue was a standalone issue. The main plot of the main story of this issue, what Kid Flash and Superboy did before July 8th, that was all covered within this single issue. So it won't be until but in the future, the next couple of issues are going to have, multi-part stories. So that's something to look forward to in the future. So overall, there we go. I think as a first issue for the tie-in comics of Young Justice, the TV series, I thought it did a good job of filling in the blanks of what happened during events that weren't covered in the episodes of the TV series, and they were greatly appreciated. It helps to make Earth 16, or the Earth 16 universe, feel a little more lively, I suppose. And otherwise, yeah, that's about all I have to say about issue 0 of the tie-in comics. So you can look forward to the channel having recap and thought videos for the other issues of the tie-in comics in the future. And that's all we have to say for the time being now.